To monitor an Azure pipeline, you can use Pipeline Analytics. To automate release documentation, you can create a service principal with a PAT, and then a PowerShell task that writes the data to the Markdown file. Azure Boards replaces Turlo, Bamboo replaced by Pipelines, and Bitbucket can be replaced by GitHub repos. Retention policy for a global release can be set as the default retention policy in Azure Devops, and the stage retention policy can be adjusted accordingly. All the applications you want to monitor using App Center require MS Analytics and MS Crashes. Self to be initialized as a service. Azure App Configuration supports feature flags, tracks config changes for 30 days, stores hierarchically structured config values, uses key-value pairs, and RBAC. Continuous assurance prevents security state drift, helps to stay current with Azure security feature improvements. Azure Automation Runbooks and Azure Monitor Alerts with dynamic thresholds can make monitoring easy. Microsoft Visual Studio App Center distribution groups can be used to deploy multiple applications to a group of users. Depend-a-Bot allows Y9OU to look for dependencies. If found, it creates a new batch and a pull request for approval. You need to approve the PR and merge it. License procurement cannot be automated. Code coupling and dependency cycles reduce the amount of technical debt. Azure Key Vault is the best place to store credentials. If you have to retrieve a credential, you have to copy it to use it if it's using multiple pipelines. Team Foundation version control allows you to restrict access to files and folders in a repo. It also allows you to limit who can view and edit branches. Git allows you to have version control and approval gates. Also lets you work from Xcode. It also allows offline access. You can have a build policy to force committed code to have to compile before accepting it, and a status policy which forces a pull request to have passed security scanning. Logs, where timestamp greater than a go, 2D, where content equals, Africa, join, events, on request ID. To use an Azure Key Vault, you must first create it, then have a monitor logs dedicated cluster with a SaaS, then grant the system assigned identity permissions to the Key Vault, configure the vault properties for the cluster, and finally link log analytics allow you to share a subset of package versions with your consumers. You can create two views such as pre-release and release, then create a pipeline to promote packages to the release view after testing. To access a repo using USSH, you have to create the SSH keys using SSH keygen, sign into Devops, add the public SSH key, and then clone the repo 1.